All right, so here we are with another episode of Minecraft. Like I said last time, I got tired of constantly getting mining fatigue as I was trying to put all of the sand down to kind of dredge out. So I decided that I was going to clear out the inside of the water temple, meaning I was getting rid of all of the guardians, I want to say. But yeah, not that I'm saying that I do it very well, because as you can see, I still have mining fatigue, and I just slowly worked my way through it by putting sponges down and a bunch of doors. But this was sort of the way that I kind of thought I would be able to do it without dying. I did get as far as to finally accept the fact that I needed to get some milk so that I could take down the doors reasonably. As you can see, I just had a whole bunch of cherry blossom trees and all the wood, and so I was like, I'm gonna make it into a bunch of doors and clear most of this area out, which worked for the most part, but it definitely was not the most convenient or not the fastest way to do it out in the long run. But overall, I've cleared out the top area, got my one sponge because I only have one, and went back to get the rest of the milk that I needed to clear out. Not that I used too much before I accepted the fact that I needed to move on to the next floor after realizing that my inventory was a little crowded, which is always frustrating. I wish that there was like a larger inventory. Granted, I recognize the fact that I could have shulkers and I could organize it like that, but I wish that I had a slightly larger inventory, kind of like in Stardew Valley, where you can get a larger backpack or something like that, but it's never big enough and you always just want a larger one. Let me know if you guys ever run into that issue. I constantly do. I am really bad at inventory management. And here we are fighting some guardians, and ta-da, look, oh my goodness, it's all cleared out. Woo, we did it. This is actually a different section, as you can obviously see, because those are not the same doors that I put down earlier. But that's basically how I ended up clearing out all the rooms, where I would just kind of cordon off different rooms and put doors down, and then these little creatures, I don't know what they're called, if the other ones are called these are guardians, because it's a guardian farm that I want, and the big ones are the elder guardians that give you mining fatigue. Okay, we figured it all out. Glad we workshopped that and sorted it out. So as you can see, this area is all cleared out, and I did have to start abandoning things, but I have this one sponge from the initial elder guardian that I got from up here, and that is all that I am using to clear out basically this entire area on top of my mining fatigue, which is not ideal. I would like to have more sponges, but I couldn't find the sponge room, which, spoiler alert, this water temple that I was like, yes, let's clear this out, doesn't have a sponge room, meaning that max I could only ever have 2 sponges. Or no, 3 sponges, because there are 3 elder guardians in a given area. So this is the next area that I'm going to obviously be cleaning out. But the problem is on top of that, this place only had 2 elder guardians in it, which is great if you're clearing it out and don't want sponges, but it's terrible if you want sponges, because then you only have 2 sponges to work with when clearing out the whole section. So I ended up having to go to 2 other water temples to try and get our sponges, which we'll deal with that later. But yeah, basically I went about this in a way that I would not recommend. This is basically just like how to not clear out a water temple in 4 months with only 1 sponge. The answer is not well. I know that there are other like kind of like crazy projects that you can do, like a perimeter or something like that, but overall I feel like this is probably one of the, okay, so draining a water temple is basically like doing a perimeter. I'm currently looking for the sponges if you're wondering what I'm doing. But a water temple, for the most part, is practically creating a perimeter, because you're draining a large area around it and lighting it all up. So basically only your guardians can spawn, which I feel like is what a perimeter sort of does, except for the fact that a perimeter does it for like it's not an entire chunk, it's like 10 chunks or something like that, 10 or 12 or something like that. I feel like I've seen somebody do it before, but I've never actually ever looked into doing a perimeter. Now, I'm not saying this because I'm going to do a perimeter, because that would be crazy. I could, but I don't think any of us want to watch me try and figure out how to do that. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting. I'm kind of interested. Okay, my goal for this water temple is, 1, to get a guardian farm. I want it to look cool, which is goal number 2. And then goal number 3, I kind of want to, because of where it's positioned out in the ocean, it's actually really close to the stronghold. And so I kind of want to have a tunnel from the stronghold into the guardian farm, even though I'll probably just fly over using my elytra. But I also thought about maybe just encompassing it entirely in a dome. But I don't know if that's a reasonable thing to do, because that could just take forever. So before we could go to another temple and clear out all of its sponges, I decided that we were going to do it here in the one that we were currently working on, so that we could get rid of all of our mining fatigue. This is also when I actually confirmed that there were only 2 guardians inside this water temple, which was a little disappointing. It went very well, the fight in general, and I had actually cleared out quite a bit of the temple at this point. But that meant I had now 2 sponges to work with, which made the process so much faster. It is crazy what 2 sponges can do, because you can just clear out so much more space, and it works so much better because you got 2 sponges to work with. Woohoo! But yeah, you've got all these really large rooms, which is super inconvenient, but I basically always had this bucket as my little, I would fill an area up, and then I would use a bucket to basically just completely undo everything that I had previously done. But this was the method. So this was around also when I slowly started to have the sickening suspicion that this water temple didn't have any sponges, because I can't remember, but I feel like in a video that I had watched, somebody had talked about how it's not always guaranteed to have a sponge room. Sometimes they don't spawn correctly and they don't have sponges. And so, spoiler alert, if you try this different seed perchance, you potentially could not have sponges. I don't know if that's consistent, like if I respawned this seed, if I would also have that same issue with the sponges not appearing. I don't know. I can't say that I've gone back to a seed that I've done in the past. There is one seed that I did during my hardcore world, which I talk about regularly, and I wish I could go back to it, but I don't remember what it was. But it was one that I didn't even get a video out of it because I wasn't there long enough, but it was so cool. It was like this village, but it was like most of the village had kind of built up in this lower cave, like the tree, and the village was on top of the tree. It was really cool. And I'm very sad that I didn't get to build, because I was going to build out a whole like tunnel system area, and it was looking pretty nifty, but I unfortunately died, and for some reason didn't have my camera recording when that happened. Oh, no. That was the one where my video footage got corrupted, and I was not able to fix it, and I was devastated because I had deleted it all afterwards and not realized that it was corrupted, so yay! So though this looks like exactly the same place, this is in fact the other, like, water temple that I needed to go to in order to get the sponges. And so I decided that I was going to start fighting, because as you can see, I've got 3 sponges and I used to only have 2. And so I started doing it, and then I realized, oh no, I'm going to die. And I got killed by an elder dragon, and I lost all of my stuff, which was not good, because then we had to go all the way back and get it back. On top of that, I do know that you should, like, when you're doing this, you should make your trunks loading smaller so that it doesn't have, like, because it's a 5-minute limit or something like that in order for you to get back. But I did not think about that at the time, and so I did not do that. So we hurried off in the hopes of rescuing our elytra, because we did not want to have to go back to the inn to get another elytra, because we do not like having to do that, because it's devastating. Absolutely devastating having to go constantly to the end, because I just find the process of going from ancient end city to end city just absolutely terrible. But yeah, there are actually 3 there might be 4 different water temples in this lake / ocean by the village that I go to. And I cleared one, which is where I got some of the sponges, but it also didn't have a sponge room. There's not a lot of sponge rooms in any of these places, and so I had to make sure that I went to the right one. And I went in and I swooped in and I was like, yep, I've got everything, so now let's get out like there's no tomorrow. Quick, go fast. As you can see, I am nearly dying. I'm like, just make it to the boat, because I didn't have like my stuff on, or no, I did have my elytra on, but I didn't even think about it. I was just like, just go faster. And then finally, we made it. We survived. Barely. We survived. But unfortunately, it did not. Everything comes with a price, and the price for this one was quite high. We did manage to get our elytra back, which was good. But we lost something quite terribly, and I will never quite forgive myself for not realizing it, because the problem was okay, I unfortunately forgot to turn my recording on because I just accepted the fact that I wasn't going to get anything back. So that is on me for forgetting to do that. I like how you can slowly I lose myself, and then I find myself because of my ring in order to build my dredge the ancient temple or water temple. So yeah, so I didn't have it, unfortunately, but because of that I kind of swooped in real quick, got my stuff because I didn't have a lot of my armor on, and got out. But I unfortunately didn't get everything. I lost my boots, guys. We lost our netherite boots, and I will never forgive myself because those things were enchanted to perfection. And then I went and I also lost a couple of my pickaxes, so I went to go through that process because I couldn't find my fortune 3. Spoiler alert, fortune 3 for some reason was not the first enchantment on one of my villagers, but it was like the 6th enchantment book, and so I didn't even need to go through this process of getting another fortune 3 person, but we went through it anyways. And so I had to build up my levels because I needed to re-enchant these trash not netherite boots. And so I was slowly working around doing it, and then I realized, oh my goodness, I actually forgot something, so I gotta go back and get it. And I landed too hard and I died. And so with that, I will see you guys next time. Leave a like if you liked the video and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.